Hi, welcome back to EAK TV. It's Chris here, and I'm joined by Robby Schwertner from Zero BS Network. Hi, Robby. How are you finding the conference today?
Oh, the conference is amazing. Not only that the weather outside is so great, but also first of all, Bitcoin raised 20%, so you see a lot of happy faces, and it's not the sunshine.
Spring has sprung.
Yes. So we see probably a little of a crypto spring, but I doubt it. Yeah, we will see. We have to see that.
Yeah.
But the conference itself here in Vienna, it's in a big hall. We have 800 participants, and it's business-driven. That's the change over the years. Now I see lots of companies, big companies, Bosch, Mercedes, energy utility companies, mobility companies. They are here. Yeah. They want to see what's going on. And also the government, the European Commissioner, ministers, Prince of Liechtenstein. So it's really a big speaker.
Let's talk a bit about your experience here as well. So how long have you been involved in the space? And how do you see the space maturing maybe in the next 12 to 24 months?
Yeah, I started in 2015 and actually really started in 2016. Right. 2016 was I worked for the Austrian government managing a smart city tech research program. Right. So we had to decide whether we can use taxpayers' money to fund research projects which are blockchain-based, because those days only Bitcoin existed and Ethereum just started. So it was, but for energy blockchains, we decided to fund. So I had to study about this blockchain and fame. You know, it was really risky also for a government to touch this because we didn't know. And then finally, I fell so much in love with blockchain that I decided I will go my own way. Yeah. And I founded a company. And recently I joined the Zero BS blockchain, Zero Bullshit blockchain. Yes, okay. It's a concept against scams. We have our own blockchain protocol. We want to use it for businesses. And I just came from a hackathon we run with the Austrian Railways. Okay. The hackathon was about mobility, and we have just given 3 prizes out to 3 excellent projects in the mobility sector.
So is that to people using blockchain in an innovative way to help people with access to the railways? Is that what we're talking about here?
We have the idea was first of all the ticketing to make it possible. Then there was a CO2 project where you can choose a green way to travel between multimodal traveling and services. Okay. And also there was a ID check and so the ID itself, but also for safety for workers, for instance. So there are different concepts. Of course, there is a big mistake always done, and that's especially with businesses. I also do consulting to large businesses and also startups. The misconcept is that they use existing business models and just replace it by blockchain. Right. So what we call the company blockchain model is very weak. Right. And if you just replace it with blockchain, it's weak. But if you have a shared prosperity, where, for instance, this entry ticket to the conference, I could see it as value, and maybe next year I can have increased value, and I own part of the conference venue. And maybe I can buy my coffee and can also use it for Uber taxi and for the hotel. If we have an integrated system, which makes me also an owner, that I also have an incentive to make this conference better, because this is a share, and there is kind of this shared prosperity model will finally disrupt this old startup model, which we see still. Yeah, it's such a hype. I lectured more than 10 years entrepreneurship at Vienna University for Applied Science. And I saw this, I stopped 5 years ago because I see this model will be replaced. Maybe not there, but blockchain is still a killer for this, classical startup and company model.
Okay. And how do you see the space developing, say, in the next 12 to 24 months, given we're just coming out of pretty much the longest bear market Bitcoin's seen? There are signs of spring. You know, I don't think we're fully there yet, but I mean, how do you see things developing?
Yeah, it's a bumpy road. It will the next 1 to 2 years. I work with the large companies. They are still very hesitant. They think, shall we use it? Shall we do nothing? Or shall we even fight it, you know? Shall we block it, yeah? Shall we kind of It's a strategy, of course. We saw that with the internet. We saw that with other technologies which are new. So first, it's a threat to their business, so they just sometimes buy the patents. We will see. What for sure is blockchain will succeed, and that's I'm very happy about. So I think I'm in the right train. Yeah.
Yes.
So we will have blockchains in this world. We'll have token. We will see a tokenized world one day. This conference badge is a token, so it's very easy to replace it. We have already a QR code here, and to tokenize this, very easy. That's really simple. So we see Facebook already thinking about a coin. JP Morgan has a coin. So the other banks will follow. We will see that for sure. So the ones who really criticized, like Warren Buffett, he criticized very much the scene, just invested recently 600 million in blockchain startups. Yeah, so interesting. Yeah. So yeah, one can change, one can learn. Yeah. Yes. That's what I see. What I also see that governments are more open to it. The Austrian government is really supporting blockchain use cases. I just came back from the Crypto Valley Summit in Switzerland. We see a big hype still there, lots of ICOs of startups coming. Now the security token, more regulated, that's what we say also, regulated financial products. I don't find it personally, it's such a good idea, but we have to face the reality, also me, myself, that it needs regulation. On the other side, we will see maybe this regulation could make things slower. So we will not see, definitely not see such a hype in the coins.
Slow growth, I suppose.
Slow growth. So no hype anymore. But
that's a good thing.
For me, I'm more from a tech side perspective. It makes actually to run blockchains cheaper. But this token, is meant to run smart contracts on the blockchain. So that's the first. For instance, Ethereum is built to use that. That's the first main use of Ethereum token, the Ether. So we will see that.
So you're clearly quite optimistic about the future. In terms of, I guess, mainstream adoption, how do you think Joe Public, the man on the street, feels about Bitcoin and blockchain? What do you think is needed to maybe spur that mass adoption?
I mean, if you go out here of this conference and get into the metro station and ask somebody about Bitcoin, they will maybe have heard it. Some of them, this is, and they will say, isn't it this fraud thing? And isn't it this lots of money lost? Or I lost some money. Or so. In Austria, 6% of the people have ever held or traded cryptocurrencies so far. And I think this statistics from our central bank is a bit too optimistic, too many. So maybe 2 or 3 have. But in Korea, for instance, 30%. That's a difference. So the mass adoption, and I created this figure, Crypto Robby. It's a brand, or I created this character on LinkedIn. I post a lot there. This figure is to explain blockchain in a simple way, which I still work on. It's hard, It's like explain the internet to somebody who just sells vegetables or drives a taxi usually in his business life. To explain blockchain is even harder because you must know what the internet does. And then you can transfer value over the blockchain, but that's really cool. That's really sexy in the long run.
What do you think about innovations such as the Layer 2 solution on blockchain, the Lightning Network? How do you think that's going to drive adoption and move things forward?
Yeah. I mean, last year I really was very critical about this situation because, for instance, Lightning Network was still a misconcept, I thought. But because it takes a lot of liquidity out of the market, and for financial markets that's the death. If you must fuel your channel to transfer money, that's kind of stupid. It could turn out not so stupid, and maybe I'm wrong. And I think this Lightning Network Layer 2 could make sense. So that fast transmission of coins direct peer-to-peer from me to you using the channel, even not using the blockchain directly. We forget about the blockchain. That's kind of a cool approach. We will see crazy possibilities with that.
I mean, already we're seeing that sort of fractionalization of tokens, like with tipping.me, I think, on Twitter. And then the LN Torch hashtag that was trending on Twitter as well. So people experimenting, finding different uses for it.
Yes. I mean, to find a use for this fast transaction is very easy. We have now Kakao Talk, Kakao, in Korea, the WhatsApp of Korea. They are thinking about a coin. Telegram has used that. So we will see a lot of these messaging services maybe using tokens. Anyway, they use already kind of tokens because you can buy on Kakao Talk, on the WhatsApp, the Korean WhatsApp, you can buy emojis. You can buy icons and emojis. So there is a business ongoing. Just tokenize it. It will be very fast. That's very soon that one can pay the lunch or dinner with tokens. With WePay from WeChat, WeChat Pay, the Chinese system, which is huge. There we see already a development where you just have this, let's say, this rice and soup kitchen in Beijing, and you just go there, and they're still dirty, but they have a QR code, and you can pay there. And even beggars, I saw it in China, they're using the QR code to get funds. So that's a possibility. What I also think is on mass adoption, mobile phones. If we have mobile phones like Samsung S10, integrating a wallet, that will be really a help.
It's big news, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. For me, yes. HTC, the Chinese phones, HTC and Huawei, they have it already. If Apple now comes with a card, the next step is crypto card. I said it already, crypto card. And then add it to the phone and iPhone, it will be everywhere.
Mass adoption instantly, haven't it?
Yeah. But it will take longer than we think. I come from a startup entrepreneurship theory, from the idea to the rollout and mass adoption until my mother was the first in my family who had a smartphone.
Right, okay.
So she was cool. But their friends, they still have no internet at home sometimes, So this is... We have to also see that cash will be replaced, but this will take a long while. So,
okay, all right, Robby, that's really useful. Really great talking to you. Really interesting.
Yes.
Have you got anything you'd like to add about announcements you're due to make about Zero BS or anything like that? It's coming up.
No big announcement. It's just that we will see many blockchains. We have one. It's the Zero Bullshit Network. zerobs.com. That's where we built we have a mainnet with a private chain. We can also, so for businesses, when they need privacy, they can use it with a larger mainnet. And we will see different blockchains for different purposes. Ours is for use cases, business use cases, for mobility, energy, real estate. And I'm quite happy to see other blockchains like Ethereum developing. It's side by side. We swim all in the same lake, and if the level rises, we all rise.
Great to hear. Okay, well, thanks for your time, Robby. It's great to speak to you. Thanks for watching, guys. As ever, like, comment, and subscribe below. Thanks again.